Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. 20 years ago, the National Resources Defense Council was very excited about natural gas-powered buses. They saw natural gas as a way to reduce the soot being generated from burning diesel. Natural gas burns extremely clean, but now the National Resources Defense Council classifies natural gas as being a dirty fuel. The NRDC has been infected with a fear of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a colorless, odorless gas which forms the basis of all life on Earth. But NRDC considers natural gas now to be dirty, and they consider wind energy and hydroelectric power to be clean. There's been lots of propaganda claiming that wind power is an environmentally friendly form of energy. But some environmentalists are starting to wake up. This is a recent story from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Wind farms angering renewable energy fans. In the ranges behind Cairns, bushland is being cleared in the name of climate action. It's pitting eco-warriors against green energy projects. Environmentalists who were excited about the wind farms when they opened have come to realize the wind farms are actually an environmental disaster. The area was very beautiful and unspoiled before the wind farms were put in. But now the same area is an industrial mess. Besides being hideously ugly, wind farms kill lots of raptors. The blades travel at 100 miles per hour and create negative pressure which sucks the birds and bats in. If you get caught killing an eagle in the United States, there's a pretty good chance you're going to go to jail. Unless you own a wind farm and you kill lots of them. The last time Biden was in the White House, they issued 30-year permits to allow wind farm operators to kill eagles. One wind farm in California kills an average of 300 red-tailed hawks, 333 kestrels, and 380 burrowing owls every year. Wind farms in Spain kill 6 to 18 million birds and bats every year. The wind industry responds to this by doing exactly what you'd expect. They simply lie about it. They say that cats kill more birds than wind farms. I'm trying to imagine a house cat killing a golden eagle or red-tailed hawk. Eagles kill house cats, not the other way around. They also try to claim that wind farms aren't a source of pollution and don't require mining or drilling, even though the manufacturing, transport, and installation of wind farms requires huge amounts of energy, mining, and drilling. And then after a couple dozen years, the wind farm turns into a completely useless mess like this one at the southern tip of Hawaii. NRDC thinks that environmentally friendly natural gas is dirty, and they think that environmentally destructive wind energy is green. And they also think that hydroelectric power is good for the environment. As a lifelong environmentalist, this is pretty amazing for me, because 50 years ago, the environmental movement was centered around stopping hydroelectric power. The building of Glen Canyon Dam destroyed the most beautiful canyon on the Colorado River. This environmental disaster in the 1960s kick-started the environmental movement. It was a tremendous motivator for me, so 50 years ago I testified at a congressional subcommittee hearing in support of protecting what was left of Glen Canyon. The hearing was held on a very hot May day at the Knapp High School Gymnasium in Utah. But now NRDC considers the destruction which occurred at Glen Canyon to be clean green energy. All of this madness is driven off of a fear of a harmless essential trace gas. I took this picture at the Rawhide Generating Station in northern Colorado on February 14th of this year. It was the coldest day on record that late in winter in nearby Cheyenne, Wyoming. The coal-fired power plant there is extremely clean, and it powers most of northern Colorado. But it's being shut down by the Colorado governor, who's afraid of carbon dioxide. There's a huge wind farm just over the hill here in Wyoming, but it was shut down that day because of icing on the turbine blades and because the wind wasn't blowing anyway. There was no wind energy being generated that day, and the solar panels were covered with snow and were completely useless. This massive solar farm was just put in recently, and it destroyed huge areas of wildlife habitat where I used to film pronghorns. After decades of climate propaganda, the environmental movement thinks this is clean and environmentally friendly, and they think this is dirty and dangerous.
People talk glibly about science. What is science? people coming out of a university with a master's degree or a PhD. You take them into the field, and they literally don't believe anything unless there's a peer-reviewed paper. It's the only thing they accept. And you say to them, but let's observe, let's think, let's discuss. They don't do it. It's just, is it in a peer-reviewed paper or not? That's their view of science. I think it's pathetic. Gone into universities as bright young people, they come out of them brain dead, not even knowing what science means. They think it means peer-reviewed papers, etc. No, that's academia. And if a paper is peer-reviewed, it means everybody thought the same, therefore they approved it. An unintended consequence is that when new knowledge emerges, new scientific insights, they can never, ever be peer-reviewed. So we're blocking all new advances in science that are big advances. If you look at the breakthroughs in science, almost always they don't come from the center of that profession. They come from the fringe. The finest candle makers in the world couldn't even think of electric lights. They don't come from within. They often come from outside the breaks. We're going to kill ourselves because of stupidity.
Fear of carbon dioxide combined with the compromises the environmental movement has made will be remembered as one of the most stupid moments in human history. But behind every scam, there's always going to be people making money.
Former Vice President Al Gore, who had a few years earlier released an Oscar-winning film, shared his ideas with the president.
We have the opportunity now to create jobs all across this country, in all 50 states, to repower America.
Al Gore had already encouraged billionaire airline owner Sir Richard Branson to invest big time in green energy.
Branson is pledging future profits from his airline to the tune of perhaps $3 billion. $3 billion, that's with a B, to fight global warming.
Is Al Gore a prophet? How'd you spell profit?
Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this scam for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Curie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.